All right. Good afternoon, trainees, and welcome to Flutter class. So today we couldn't really have a class last week, Friday, because of network glitches. So we'll continue from where we stopped. That was last week, Monday. Yeah. So project is already opened. You can see we already have some errors because it's not yet completed. So I'm going to be making some updates, right? We're still on our onboarding screen. So we want to achieve this. So let's achieve these onboarding screens today. Then possibly start the work login screen. Yes, before the end of this session today. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this, get back to VS Code. Now I want to make some additions to the constants. Let's see. When we have strings, let me just make some additional updates. I think we have for the onboarding strings already. Let me add some, let me say animation durations. Okay, so I'm going to bring in static. Okay, let me see. Can I work with this? 500 page transition. Okay, I make this 250. Okay, then think I can work with one. This is going to be, let's say, slash duration. Change the type. Okay, so now that we have this set, what other thing again? I think we already have, let's see. Okay, now I've got it here. Okay, I have strings. I'm not making use of all this, but anyway, let's make some progress. So what we don't have here is models. Let's see. We don't have models, so I'm going to set up model folder. Models, or yeah, just leave it as models. Then do onboarding model that. Okay. This one, well, we just need this based on this onboarding, or based on the image you are provided. You can see we have image here. Then we have our title and subtitle, right? Title and subtitle. So if we're going to set up our model, there are ways you can set up your model. All right. I know I didn't really touch that part, but I want to like bring it up in this aspect now. So image path, title 1, and subtitle. So let's go over here and do our class onboarding model. And then we'll have, okay, title. Let me change this to subtitle. Okay, so we have title, subtitle, image part. Now this for our onboarding model, right? Now, in a situation where you want to like use serialization, okay, let me go over to web and let's look at okay, so let's look for see. This or phrase. Okay. Let's see. We have phrase, JSON, annotation, parts. So this is another way to include build runners in your application. All right. Yeah, this is not looking. Let me go back and pick the second one. Okay, let me pick this. It's no need. I'm going to pick a project from show you a little bit, just so you have an idea, right? That's why I'm bringing this to Okay. JSON annotation 490. Yes. Okay. All right. So this is an example, all right, of a model that allows for build runners. So if you look at this model now, you can see that this is a sign of response for auth, all right? You have your int, right? String created at create string, email, phone number, status, role, and then this. And then you have this factory sign of response dot from JSON, open bracket map, string dynamic JSON, all right? With this. Now, if I should replicate this now in let's say in our present, so what I'm going to do is look at this now. I will have to bring in that JSON annotation, all right? I'll have to copy this and go paste it in our project, PubSec.yaml, bring it here, just paste it there, and then it might not really say because of this but I believe it should still be able to run regardless. So I like to run, and then from our model, with something like factory. Should take this. Usually this is what you do when you're getting from JSON, all right? And then to JSON, you have something like this. This is the one I taught you guys, all right? This works, all right? But in case I'm looking at bringing in JSON annotation, that way it generated source code of your model is done automatically. So I'm going to just show you how that is done. We might even use it in this very app, but I'll show you how it's done. I can also revert it anyway. So let me go back and then have, let's have, so I'm going to just so that I can be fast, copy this and place just above here, right? That, all right? Then we'll have parts something and just Okay, have this, and then I'm going to take off this one. Here. Okay. See how it's done here. Okay. This. So let me use this to replicate what we have here. So I'll just paste this here. So we have factory done. Okay. This. So instead of take this one out. Okay. And then we'll have the sign onboarding. From JSON. The brackets have to JSON. So I can bring this up. I'm going to do is then change this to body to JSON. Okay. Take this one off. All right. So there's a code you need to run to build this. All right. So, well, I don't want these errors to be, so I'm going to, first of all, comment this out. This, okay, go over to the screen, and then comment this. All right, so that the only thing we have is this, and then we'll have a vin. We need to enter into our root, so folder. So let me go into integrated terminal. Okay, and then do Flutter. That's source code. Let's see. I think I should have it. Yeah, this is it here. Let me widen my code. So you can see Flutter pub run build runner build, right? So when I hit the enter key, just wait for it to run. Could not find package build runner. Okay. Okay, yeah. I know this part is missing, so let me go get it. Just go over here. Because I worked on a project, that's why, so I've used it. So I'm just going to use that. So I think this is more recent. So it's a package, JSON serializable. Let's go back. So I'll postset the YAML, then place it here. Save, okay. So wait for that to run. Downloading packages. Since that model, before building it, is dependent on this very package, we need to have it in our application. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, I think it's set. Almost analyzing. It's done. Okay, so let's go again and just click on my arrow key up, enter, and wait for it. Now this is being done on my terminal, right? I'm running from my terminal, so getting package executable. So you notice that this arrow will go out after this. So just watch it and see how it does its work. P2P when I interested when it writes to outputs. Okay. So name, is there something I'm missing again? Okay. Interesting serializable. Let's get this as well. Which is save this and see what happens. I'm going to go back again and try to run this. See that it builds. I'm not having error anywhere else again now. It's just here in the middle. Okay. Full build because build has changed. Let's just wait and observe why it builds. But meanwhile, while that is going on, let's go over to okay. All right, so go to outputs. Okay, by now it should resolve this. Onboarding model to JSON. Can you see? Now, this is what you'd have actually done manually, right? On your onboarding model. Mistake in that spelling there. Onboarding from JSON, onboarding to JSON. Okay, so I'm going to try to run it again. Because I can see that I'm having here, onboarding model. Okay. There's an error in this. This is supposed to be onboarding model. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that has been corrected. If you notice, the first method I showed you was that you would have to do that manually by setting the factory onboarding and writing all of those, like repeating almost the same onboarding, but this time around from JSON and then to JSON. This one represents from JSON and this one to JSON. This is the generated code. Now in this code, it says generated code, do not modify by hand. So you're not to touch anything here. Even if you're supposed to make changes, you will not come here. You come here and make your changes. Add what you need to add to this. All right. And then do your Flutter pub run, build runner, build to regenerate again. Then it will update this one. All right. Now, when you're working a project and you've made updates to model and you actually are using generated code, you do not have to or need to push this to GitHub. All right. GitHub doesn't need to track this, So what you do is you add this to gitignore. You go here and somewhere above here, you can just come and say hash generated code, right? Then add star dot what is it again? I'm adding I think something like .g. Where is that? The model something .d .g .dat. Yeah. Where are you? .g .dat. Something like this. And then you save. That way, when you're making push to your code, you are not pushing, you are telling GitHub to ignore tracking this. All right. Yeah, so that's how that works. That's how this works. Okay, so we can continue with our onboarding controller. In this onboarding controller, I'm going to start with, okay, we already have our storage, right? We have our storage and then final. Of course, I'm going to comment this, but then let's move to this. So after this, I'm going to set up final list onboarding pages. Okay, instead of that string to be there, I'll leave this and just do onboarding. I use onboarding pages. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, what I'm going to do is bring in onboarding model here and import, because we already have our model, right? So I'm going to import this. And then inside this, remember it's a list, right? So you can see we're already having this too. So I'm gonna, even though the text might not really match, we already have the text displayed. I think we should have them on our strings. Let's see, here's our constants. We have strings, okay. So we have onboarding title 1, onboarding subtitle. So we already have this written here. So what we'll do now is that we'll make reference to all of that. So let's come down to the first one. First one is going to be, for this title, we don't need this here. We need app strings dot, okay? Let me import this so that you can see, all right? So app strings dot onboarding title 1. Start with title 1, then we'll do same for this app string dot, okay, subtitle 1. Then image part, let me see, this image part has to be assets. So we already have our app images, so assets images, but instead of that, we're going to have app images dot onboarding 1. App images dot onboarding 1 instead of this long one, right? So let's go back. Of course, this one still works, right? But we already have a way to maintain app images, import this dot onboarding 1. That's for the image part. So you can see our source code is just very neat, very clean, easy to read, easy to go through, organized, properly organized. So we'll replace this with this. What's going to be 2, 2, and 2. So it makes your work very, very fast. This is going to be 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so now that that is done, we can come over to our next page, right? Let me see. Come over to our next page. I'll comment this, and I'm going to make changes now to this. Remember that I made updates to what do you call it now? The app strings, the constants regarding animation duration. So I'm going to bring that in, but then there's something that is actually missing before that. Do we even need it safe? Don't know. I'm not sure we need that, do we? We need that. Let me leave this out first. And then what next? I think what next should be the onboarding screen, because I remember that we partitioned some of the steps like page view, bottom section, navigation buttons, right? So uh, We have onboarding page. We have onboarding page. So in this our onboarding page, let's see what's missing. We have top image section. I think we're supposed to actually do a widget for that, right? Supposed to do a widget for that. Do we get to that? Because we might not really be able to see the screen while we're doing that. I want a situation where we'll be able to see the screen while we're doing that. So some things need to be done first. So let me go back to this and let's see what we can do under our page view since we have a controller, right? In this part, I'm going to bring in expanded. Going to bring in expanded and then the page view dot builder. This is what I need. Course item. Okay. Because we need controller here. This controller is going to be controller dots. So let's go up here and in our build method. By now, let me use okay, I think page controller still works. Or let me just make it simpler. Final controller get dot find. Okay. Onboarding controller. Okay. Widget custom button. Okay, I still need this. I don't need this. Don't need this either. Okay. So I'm making reference to the page, to the onboarding controller. All right. Inside the onboarding screen. So here is going to be controller dot making use of. So let's see. I think there's something missing. Here is supposed to be page controller. That page controller is not here. So what do I do? Just have something like this, right? Then we say on page changed. On page changed. this, and then we're going to have controller dots. Okay, this. Because we have our item builder, we also have item count. So this item builder should like be the last. Item count onboarding pages or the length, based on the length of the pages. No, making use of 3 pages from this particular design. 1, 2, 3. So it's taking the length. So the length is 0, 1, 2. Yes, that's how actually it's numbered. We have item builder. So this item builder now, we have this. And this item builder will have return. Okay, what is it going to return? It's going to return onboarding page, which we have here. This onboarding page. Where are you? This is it. Onboarding page. All right. Now we need to state context and index. Okay. This index is based on the length of pages, right? So when it's going to return, onboarding page, there's something else again. Okay, let's see if we can set up this one. We'll get back to it. Let's set up a bottom section. Bottom section, we want to have this dot. So that as you swipe the screen from left, it's also active. Color on it shows that this is the active page. For the second page, and this. So let's produce this. This is so if we're going to do that, let's see. Let's bring in a padding. A padding. Okay, so let's do app size dot let's say LG. Let's work with that. String and arrow, so let's take care of that. So once we have that, and next thing we should have is child here, map child, and then a column widget. Should yeah, we're going to have our page indicator, and put this here, page indicator, and our page indicator, we're going to bring in that very package, smooth indicator, smooth page indicator. Smooth page indicator. Okay. Remember, we have this package in our object.yaml file where you smooth page indicator, right? So we have it there. Let's go back to our screen. Controller, of course, this is still going to be like controller dot page controller. We don't have that yet. And count you have controller plus onboarding pages that length. Okay. So after that, let's bring in the effect. And then here you can have swap effect, slide effect, worm effect. Okay. So let me pick this worm effect and impute the arguments. Okay, so we have dot height, I have dot width, spacing, active dot color. So let's do, okay, I'm gonna leave it this way. But for this one, I'm going to make use of app colors. Dot primary. Dot color gray. Now I think we should have light gray. Okay, it's not going to be here. It's, we have to bring this in. And then should have light gray now. We don't have light gray. Let me see. Dark gray. Gray. Okay. Okay, so let's leave that gray. Since gray seems to be like the, of course, I can also add a shade. Let's see. Should we need to add a shade? It's not working. Okay. That's because okay. For me to add that. So I'll leave that that way. So this takes care of the page indicator. right? And then I think the next one we have navigation buttons. These navigation buttons, we already set up our custom button, right? So we'll bring it in. We'll bring it in. So let me uncomment this and then make adjustment to this for our text. I think here we already have our text for this, but let's wait for that and see what happens. I'm just going to allow this set in for now. Okay, so OBX, right? I'm going to do something about this. So let's say rapid widget expanded controller dot current page dot value if it's greater than 0, right? No, don't want all of this all of a sudden. So let me write that current page to value is greater than 0, right? Then let's bring in condition. Okay, we have an expanded with a child custom body, right? With text. This is going to be app string does back. Okay, then of course we have our unpressed. I think we should have is outlined, probably not where I'm placing it. Let's see, because I know I need to have this. Let's see, I'm going to mix this up. Is outlined, okay? Outlined is true. Is it actually outlined? That back button, let's see. It's not actually outlined though, but this is it. Might have to make adjustment to that widget button. Well, let's work with this first and see how the outcome looks like. So if we have this true, okay, this is where we should have this size buster string. Okay, so if we have that, then down here and have if controller the current page. Okay, current page dot value split at 0. Then what are we going to have? Going to have sized box, the width. See, I can actually, this one looks longer compared to this. Okay. Okay. Size box with a width of, let's say, our size dot into this. And then if we should do that, that takes care of the, should this one be here? Okay, meaning that only here we have that. Okay, so that means this takes care of the back button, but the back button does not have an outline. As a matter of fact, it's just a text button. So I'll make changes to this, but let's move over to the other one. It's actually like pretty the same thing, where we have but this time around we're just having expanded, right? So I can't really copy that because that's like giving condition. So we'll have expanded the child, of course. The child will bring in the OBX. Since we're having um, reactive value and has to do with get X, right? So we'll have this. Okay, bring this down to custom body in text. This is going to be, just going to put an empty string here. This one, I'm going to leave it as this. So now that we have that, this is supposed to control the next button. So that means I have to go to my onboarding block and bring in this next. So let's look at this. Page controller, going to uncomment that, and then this as well. So let's make some changes to this. Now looking at this, this is our next button, right? Our method to control the next page. So if current page dot value is less than the onboarding page dot length -1, current page plus value dot value incremental, right? Then page controller dot next page duration. For here, I'm going to like bring in up constant okay, where do you put those? Okay, this is where, and so you can say I even have splash duration here. So I'm going, yeah, it's not this, and then here is going to be then going to look at storage service. Set first time false. Okay, then get dot of named, right? So which page? The app routes dot login. Oh, do we have that here? Login route. Okay, I'm not sure we actually have that login route yet. Let me see. Okay, we have it set up then. Okay. Then, of course, we don't want to miss this. So let's have an override. This can be at the top or bottom. We have void on close. Yeah, bringing our page controller to dispose. So it disposes it. All right, so this is set, and let's see what this looks like if it eventually runs. If it eventually runs. We're going to run in debug mode. Put up our mobile emulator. Or phone, since I'm running from my mobile device. Oh, there's nothing else I'm missing. Okay, some things I might be missing. That should be onboarding screen. I know I made use of empty strings and buttons that allow for one to navigate and next. Okay, smooth indicator is done already. Okay, this is rectified. Our string skip tagline. Okay. So since this is for back, when we click the back, should it really go back? Go back to, let's see. Okay. Then we click next to, okay. This is taking quite time to run. So while that is ongoing, some things have not been implemented yet, like the image. I think that should be in the onboarding page. See onboarding page now. Yeah, top image section. Here we have title. Okay. Mm, okay, it's still loading because we're probably not implemented where it's routing or navigating to. So let's go to our Splash controller. Let's see. So let's look at our routes. We have this. Let's go to our pages. This is Splash. Oh, we don't have four. We don't have four um onboarding. Onboarding screen. Onboarding binding. Onboarding screen. Okay. So we have this now. Let's look thoroughly. What else could be missing? If we go to our onboarding, let's see. There's nothing here. So let's uncomment this, and here is going to be onboarding controller. Yep, take this off so that we have this here, and then let's be sure that nothing else again is missing. Since we've done this, our route onboarding / onboarding, our pages right to left with fade. Okay. Still any other updates we did? So let me rerun this and see what happens or restart. It's still not routing properly. So. Our route onboarding. Yeah. Route. Onboarding. Then / controller. Let's see. binding is intact. Okay, so let's look at this story. So it's going to route here. It's going to this route. Across the splash, yes. Then from the splash screen, let me see if there's something here that was not. Something I'm missing here. Just the way as it is designed. It doesn't seem like, okay, yeah, something is missing here. So let's put get. But put, yeah. Let me put this. And then the provider has been detected, showing get X for the specific widgets that will be updated in the onboarding controller. Okay. Let's try that again. See. Something just happened now. Let's start again. New routes. Going to log in. Why is it going to log in? Let's go to splash controller. We put in onboarding here. Okay, okay. So let's look at our console. Here's where we get to debug. So start from here. Okay. Body screen 8626. So if I should go to onboarding screen, look at 86. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, what if I just probably try to update that particular, let me see. So here is going to be what is text? Controller dots. Current page. To value is going to be equals to controller dot onboarding pages length minus 1. If it's that, we're going to have app strings dot next. Or still the same app strings dot next. Okay, so if we have this, then this part is going to be just directly controller the next page. Since we already have that method, then controller dot is loading. We don't have this, it's loading. So let me see. Do we have this? Yeah, we have it. Okay, instead of controller is loading, just going to say true. Yeah. Then for this one too, compressed back button is going to be controller, the previous page is loading. This cannot directly be true. So what we're going to do is Let me just leave it first. But I know there's something we need to do about that. Okay. Now you can see this loading is here. That's because of this. This is where our buttons are meant to be. Then we have our skip, title, subtitle. And this title and subtitle, they're meant to be text, right? Because I know we actually did something about that. So let's go see what should be done. So we already have our bottom section, which is the indicator, right? And then what is left is for this skip, if we click on our skip, nothing happens actually. Yeah, because we've not set that here. So let me go over to the onboarding page. And here we have, what do we have here? I'm going to come over here and do final. More like passing, all right? Final onboarding page or onboarding model rather. Onboarding model. But that, while that is done, I'm going to come here and do, this is required. This dot model. What am I going to do here now? I'm going to do model dot title. So instead of probably removing everything, I just do this. And do this. Okay, have this going to save, go back to the screen. There's something that is shouting here. I say, Simio. So now look at it. What are we bringing in here? This. Okay, see. All right. Now, can you see? We have our title, we have our subtitle, right? And this is just the image we've not implemented. Yeah, we have our skip. So if I should slide, you can see deliver right to your doorstep. We have our button. Okay. We have get support from our great skilled team. This get is small letter. So if I want to make correction to this, I don't have to come to this point. I just go directly to the app strings and make the correction here. Okay. So let's look at our design. We're almost wrapping up. So we have, okay, I need to make changes to this. After 5 seconds, should navigate. So we have online home store. This text is actually looking big though, but let's just leave it first with blah 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 furniture. Okay, yeah. Then we have this right to your door. Okay, then sit back and blah 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 blah. All right, middle. Then get support from our skilled team on the font size. Great, awesome. Then we have a button, but this back button does not have what do you call it now? So what if I go over to make change to that? Let me see. So let's see if we can actually implement that image or those images, the image path, right? So far so good. We have that. Now for the image part, if you notice it's image with a curve and it's above this. But first of all, I want to set up a widget for that. Let's call it bottom curve clipper. So that. Okay. So I'm gonna do STL. Although not really stateless widget, but I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna change this to custom clipper with path. Okay, and then doing with this, I doubt. I'm sure we need that. So we have our override widget build. Okay, then this is going to be different. Here is going to be path, right? But then here is going to be get clip. Should be something like that. That's something like that. Because you are not making use of this. This should be okay. What I'm going to do is I'll leave this. Okay, yeah, we have get clip. So bottom extends custom clipper with path, right? So let's do we need a return? Do we need a return? Let's take this out. I think there's something that is supposed to be here. I put size. Okay. I think this should help a bit. And then down here we should have paths or final path. Let's see. We do final path equals to path. Yeah. Okay. This. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of things here. Well, let's look at it gradually. So let's have path to line 2. Okay, XY, x-axis. So x-axis is going to be 0, and then the y-axis is going to be size dot height minus let me do 120. Here is that let's see, more like left side down to the curve. Left side down, from the left side down to the curve, not 0, right? The x-axis down to, right? So let's have that there. Then let's take care of the middle section, middle curve. So the middle curve is deep, so let's do parts. Okay, so we have this quadratic Bezier tool. So if we have size, okay, let's see. What if we'll do something about this? Let me see, since it's 120, let's make this 60, more like half of 120 is the control point endpoint. Okay, control point endpoint plus 60 down minus 120 up endpoint. Okay, so once we have that, let's move to right side down bottom. Yeah, this also works. So let's see for this. Okay. Then think the parts close. Okay. Close the part to form a complete shape. All right. So this works. Okay. Yeah, we do have a return. So return path. Okay. So now that we have that, anything that can be added? Because this one is giving us red here. Missing concurrent implementation. Abstract class, okay, so blah, 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 blah. Try implementing the missing method. Okay, so if we have at override, okay, I'm seeing something. Let's see. No. This is not making sense because it's inside. So let's take it out. That's override. Okay, but override. Okay, let's see. I think this takes care of it. Okay. It says bool should reclip, right? Code clipper, return true, always reclip to ensure this. Now that we have that, let's go over to what you call it now? Where is it that we need to place that? So I've worked on this widget. I think it should be in our screen. Is it our screen now? Page view. Okay, not here. Let's go to our onboarding page. Okay, top image page. So in here, we're going to bring in finally, before we wrap up, let's see, we'll bring in our clip. I think there should be clip path. Yeah. So if we bring in clip path, let's add clipper. We have clipper. Then make reference to that widget. Bottom of clipper. Okay, so instead of it now outside, should have a child with image dot asset. Now we're going to bring in that model image part here. Double infinity height. Okay, I'm just going to see how this works. 0.45. Okay, it's box cover. So let's give it a height, at least a height between the image and the text. So let me watch reload. Okay, reload assets, image onboarding 3, asset not found. What do you mean by image or asset not found? We should have our assets in here. 1, 2, 3, right? So we have that. Let's restart. That should help. Let's see what we have. I'm able to load assets image onboarding 1, asset not found. Why? Or is it in the model part? Couldn't be in the model onboarding controller. So let's go to our app images. Okay. Asset images onboarding app images. Okay. We have this here. So onboarding controller. Should be able to see now. Asset not found. Oh, okay. Let's see. We have this images. Onboard 3, onboard 1, onboard 2. Asset images onboard 2.png. Let me see. Okay, this is onboarding rather than onboard. That's why it's not seen. See. So let me load again or restart. Okay. Wow. This is nice. This is nice. Okay. This is nice. But I think the curve is actually very, it's too much. It's too curved. So we'll have to make some adjustments. But there's no more time again for this, so we'll continue definitely in our next class. All right. But do well to also update your source code on this particular project we are building, this app. Okay. Yes, it's something you can add to your portfolio. All right. And also, if you want to do some more updates, add some more things to it, you can on your own part. All right. So I'll be stopping the record right now. Anyone with questions? Okay. Shagun, please help me stop recording.